All right, guys, here we're talking about Daredevil Season 3, Episode 8. So what do you think about this episode?
This was good. They've all been good.
Honestly, yes. This season is very
Newsflash,
strong.
this is good. So we didn't see Dex last time. We see Dex this time.
We do see Dex.
Like it opens with him seemingly like right, after he got home from all the murders.
Mm-hmm.
We're playing some audio cues and all that stuff, and I like immediately love this intro and this scene. They're playing this like beehive swarm noise, and it's like the Joker noise from like Dark Knight or whatever. This like tense weird noise, and then he like takes his old headphones and hits play, and like the noise stops. It's this like like you can feel his like uneasiness and how it's like relieved by these tapes, and that sets up all the events that take place later. I love the shot of him still wearing pieces of like the combat armor, but
and,
like vacuuming and like sweeping and stuff.
I thought that was
like,
fun.
This is wonderful. This is wonderful. I love it.
So then we have what do you have? Where's the cut right from there? Is that
right
to
directly? Directly, I'm not sure, but Matt is talking to Nadeem. They've like hatched a scheme and all that stuff.
Mm-hmm.
That's one of the things going on. At the same time, we have Foggy and Karen have like Foggy's hatched a scheme and they're doing their thing and all that stuff.
Foggy has a scheme. Karen has her own scheme that is running directly contrary to his scheme, essentially.
Yeah,
and I kind of like that. The only thing I didn't like about their interactions is like you have Foggy having his thing, and he's in the middle of kind of winning at speech fighting.
Yeah.
And then he realizes what Karen's up to and just kind of drops the ball.
Yeah.
And I get that, and rightly so. She may have been about to die when he did save her.
Seconds may have counted in that situation.
Yes.
I too.
But he could have wrapped it up a little bit more eloquently.
I think that's Foggy being like a drunken master of this style and not like a disciplined, seasoned veteran. Because I think you could have wrapped it up and ended it and like said some. I actually
on some powerful button and then walk out.
I had this exact same thought too, because I was like, he should be walking out saying, you know what? I don't have any more time for this, and I don't think the people of this city have any more time for you, and just throw down the folder and like leave or something crazy, right?
Good.
And like have everyone like silverware clattering noises and like, oh, this is highly irregular, and then have him be
enjoy your dessert and then walk out.
Because he's gonna, enjoy your whatever, dollars a plate dinner. I'll be out there with the people doing the work and all that stuff, or some bullshit, right, or something.
Yeah. I think he had too strong of an impact because he then turned to seemingly lose that argument because the guy got the last word.
He gets to shout as he walks out. I know. I felt the same way about that. I do still think he's going to become the DA now, right? That's clearly being set
He's turning some heads,
maybe,
literally and figuratively, and I don't know if we'll ever find out because I don't know if that was going to be announced this season. So,
exactly.
But no, he's put up a good fight.
And I could see it go either way, where he doesn't actually become the DA, but it turns out like he's made such a name for himself that now he has this different.
And that was all he was really trying to do. It would have just been a
nice.
backdoor bonus if he actually became the district attorney.
But I love how good he is. Like while he was doing not the main speech here, I think when he was talking to Karen, like the way he's like delivering and poised and doing stuff, it like I started to think back to like the flashbacks of Foggy with the long hair and him being like, but Matt, we can't, and just doing all this like bullshit or whatever, and how much he's like evolved as a character physically and like.
Well, think of him just as an actor, where he hit the ride. So like. What was his first thing? Mighty Ducks? And you're like, all right. So you went from being the thug in Mighty Ducks to this. That's such a stark, huge transformation.
Yeah.
What else was he in across the board?
I forgot he was in Mighty Ducks. I have no idea.
He was in The Butterfly Effect as Ashton Kutcher's roommate. Oh. He was in Idle Hands as one of the friends.
Oh, it's Seth Green.
Yes.
That's awesome. I like this guy. Turns out I like this guy.
I actually really liked him. And
you were like, it's that guy.
When this show, when Daredevil first season started, I was like, oh, he looks a lot different now. He's changed. And I didn't know if I was going to be into him, but I'm like, no, you know what? He's good.
Well, and like they pepper in early in their relationship, going back to like season 1 or 2, right? Some speeches about morality or something like that. They've set up how the characters interact, but he was really just comic relief and like, I just want to be a real lawyer, Matt, or whatever, all that stuff.
Yeah.
So like.
Yes, the evolution has been.
And so sometimes a show will write in evolution, having not cast the part, obviously, and they just do it anyway, and you're like, all right, I guess he's the CEO of something now or whatever, right? Or he's the leader of the squad or something.
Yeah.
But I'm really impressed with how much, right? Because like he's still being heckled and he's like dealing with it and stuff like that. It isn't like this overnight thing where suddenly he's like the man. He had to deal with his family. He had to, has to deal with people coming up now and all that stuff. And he's dealing with all this Fisk stuff. He's dealing with the Stacy stuff. And you're watching him change how he does stuff. He's flawed, he's struggling, but he's improving, and it's just nice to see.
Yeah.
But Karen is in there. I don't know.
So Karen goes in with Fisk, and like her plan is just to like throw him off guard, get him so emotional that he snaps
and goes at it.
And there's a new crime that she could think. Now it is done very well where she is riling him up, saying about how she murdered his boy, and I'm like, oh no, is she like totally on tape right now, or is she gonna get caught for this?
That's what I thought.
And then the guys come in to arrest her for her attempted murder that Foggy had said she might try.
Yeah.
And I was like, oh.
But that was a moment. I thought he was gonna like unbutton the suit and have like an old school tape deck for some reason, but like a wire on where it's like she confessed to all the crimes. Our plan worked perfectly. Cigar and all that stuff. And you're like, oh my God, he's so good.
He really is always 10 steps ahead.
But I think he was merely 3 steps ahead here because he had shit to give back to her with the whole like, when did you know about Matt Murdock's secret life and all that stuff? And she's like, and he goes like, thank you, Karen. And she's like, fuck no, I have more shit. Fuck you, Jerry. And they start going at it. It's great.
I don't even know, like, so if he would have, at best case for her, just hit her, and worst case actually murdered her.
Yeah.
How bad would that even have been for him?
So
he's still like a protected witness type of thing.
Yeah,
he's giving information. He's actively in prison.
Yeah. Like the scene from earlier set up that like if there were any more crimes it like breaks the agreement. So I think as an audience member you're meant to believe that like any assault or anything would have like and she was trying to do it and like all that tension and the conversation and the angles and it gets tighter so good and all that stuff. But yes, realistically
I know like by the letter of the law, yes. Yeah, it would ruin him, but I feel like they have so much riding on him that they would not really do anything.
I think they would have said, well, how'd she even get in there? Well, this is highly irregular. This is ridiculous. No. And they would act like that didn't break the agreement or something. Like in like the real world, you would say, What? She wasn't supposed to be in there. What did she tell you guys? Oh, we have to. This is embarrassing. We have to cover this up because they already suspect that he might be manipulating them completely, and that hasn't like violated the agreement. So something, some little blip where it's like, what are you gonna do? Go say you did something? So how does your story begin? I like illegally entered a like protected FBI like federal space, and then like intentionally got a guy talking.
Well, was her entry actually illegal?
I don't know. Yeah,
because she did have to call and ask for permission to come in there.
Yeah,
Fisk is allowed to talk to.
Yep.
For whatever reason, he's allowed to talk to the press. You would think that he would only have the ability to speak to his attorneys,
right?
And like maybe he can see visitors on like every third Tuesday or whatever.
Conjugal visits.
Well, conjugal involves something different.
Conjugal visits.
But you're allowed to see inmates. I don't know what regularity.
No. I think she skirted the line of like being merely misleading instead of being like directly like she didn't like sneak in or break in or trick anyone per se. But she did that whole thing. I don't know. There's a lot of grayness to this where I do not think, I think if he had killed her, obviously, that would have been fine.
Yeah, murder would probably have hurt his case.
But she was hoping, merely to be assaulted. So, I don't know. And, like, Foggy...
He's a big guy, and she's like, a fragile human. So a minor assault still could have been like, he broke both her spines. Like, what? She had 2? Now she does...
Foggy calls it immediately, he's like, what were you hoping for? That rhinoceros would have snapped you in half or whatever. And you're like, yes, I know. Like, there's no, like, how much time do you think it would have taken for them to come save you? Like, it would have been over.
They were not in the room.
Right. Even had they been in the room, you might have died. Just like, and like destroys your head.
Yeah.
Like Game of Thrones style. No, like I like Vincent, D'Onofrio's performance as always or whatever.
Yeah.
But I thought here he was really good. I say this a lot, but like when an actor has to act like they're acting like they're not this, but they really are, you get into that weird thing because he's trying to hide his reaction and then twist it and turn into something else and all that. So he does a lot of face stuff. He huffs and does breathing. His body language changes. Like it's really good.
Yeah, no, he's a professional.
He's a professional. He's an effing professional.
I wanted a little bit more like I guess they did give that payoff where she gets in handcuffs and pulled away, but I would like one more little like something there to have been like ha like.
Yeah. So like when as they're leaving, it kind of looks like Fisk is about to say something or shout something to be like, and guess what, this and and all that stuff, but it just kind of like flatly ends or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
I had the same feeling.
It would have been cool if like he punched her once and then she was handcuffed and they're like, what?
Right. And they shout something about like saving someone or like stopping something, but then it's like actually her they're trying to get rid of.
Yeah,
because she is shocked when she gets handcuffed, as you would be.
But you can see on her face that she's like, "Oh God, they heard me!" Like, like never.
I really wonder if they did. Yeah, I guess they didn't.
They didn't.
Yeah,
she would have never been able to leave if there's no statute of limitation on murder, and she admitted to putting 7 bullets in a guy because that's all there were.
He deserved more. Oh, it was great. Yeah. Oh, and the whole thing. Because again, like she's talking about, like, oh, you keep calling, you're angry, and then you're concerned, and then you're angry again. I'll kill him myself if he's still alive. All these different things, and like we as audience members flash back to all those cell phones going off, right, in the like police, evidence lockup from the thing Fisk orchestrated at like her thing, right? It's this nice, revengey mirror image thing.
Indeed,
show's good. Meanwhile, are we done with that?
Yeah.
We're solid.
Move on.
So we got, we'll just talk about Dex, I guess, from start to finish.
Okay.
He approaches Julie.
Yes.
In public.
Yeah.
And basically says, I need you to take me on as, like, a case. She's not a therapist, but he's like, I need you to, like,
do what you did on the phone for people to me.
Yeah.
And I was shocked that she said yes.
It's weird, right?
But you can see that he's like a troubled guy, and she did know him, at one time, at least she thought. That immediately would have come crashing down for me when I was like, oh, you're a stalker. You're a fucking crazy stalker. I can never be around you, stalker. Stalker.
No, it's a little unrealistic, but she's in the profession of helping people, so I could, and he makes a decent case.
She's in the profession of waitering.
Like, well, yes, but like most waiters, she's actually has, she's aspiring to do something specific or whatever. So they end up, my notes say, scapegoat, goat noise, or whatever.
Yeah.
Right?
I was like, he's an insane person. That makes sense.
He's an insane person, and that was so cringy that I really, it obviously stands out because it's ridiculous.
Yes, but it got redeemed when they killed her.
Well, so I like how not cool him making the goat noise is, because he runs the risk of being the coolest motherfucker ever. He beats Matt in like a fight.
Yes.
Right, and it was awesome stuff or whatever, right?
I didn't even take that as his actual persona.
You thought he was putting it on?
I thought he was putting on an act there. Because he seems like the most awkward, like, oh, I'm a fish out of water. I don't know what I'm doing. Life is really hard. Can you help me? Like when he's in public.
Yeah,
but you know that he's really like this cool, like, cold, actually. Cool isn't even the word. He's like a cold, calculated man that I don't think any of those insecurities are real at all. I think
thought
that's
he was
all
like
him.
I thought he was trying to tap into his humanity, or like fake it till you make it and have humanity or whatever. Do you think it was like malicious to manipulate her to get what he wants?
Yes, I do think that.
Okay, interesting.
Because the goat thing seems so
over the
cheesy
top?
that I picture him going like, what do idiots do? A scapegoat, they would make a goat noise or something.
Nice.
Goat. Like, it seemed so almost perfect that I was like, yep, I think this guy is just on top of it.
I wonder though if he knows he's doing it, or if it's just a thing where he needs to get something, so this is how he's doing it or whatever, right? I wonder if he's sitting there like, my plan didn't work to manipulate her or something, right? I don't know. But my next note says, in all caps, Julie gets mercilessly plugged.
I was very shocked by that. I thought that was a great way to break my expectations of what was going to happen, because I would not think that. And they set up again like the painting in the hallway, and I was like, all right, this is pretty great. I enjoy what they're doing there. I think that was good. I want to see how they're going to play off, because they just made it so she's now just ghosting him. She blocked the phone call. Yeah. She said, I don't want to talk to you anymore or whatever. And I'm wondering how they're going to use the body, because I picture a like crazy awesome thing with the body.
Okay.
And like she is in a fridge somewhere right now.
Sure.
And like when they need Dex to go fucking mad on somebody, they like will leave her body somewhere or release a thing. Like
I did not think about this, but I assume we'll have to frame Matt for killing Julie somehow.
I would expect something.
Something like that, right? That's pretty good.
But it doesn't have to be Matt either. Yeah. It could be anybody, because now how much does Karen want dead now from him? And like what is your justification? Be like, oh, blah blah, Karen shot Julie. Well,
because just Julie's death is gonna rattle him so much, right? Because right now
and when he ever finds out about it.
Yeah. She's like blocked him and all that stuff. But I think deep down, she was his last hope, and he like wants that that to happen or whatever. So so there might be like a text to from her phone to like get him to go somewhere.
Definitely
some weird thing like that, at least, if not
that corpse, that would be how I would picture everything unfolding. Is that he would get a thing like, oh, meet me at so and so street, and then when he gets there, the person they want dead is there and in a compromising position with them over the body or something like that, and then it's just and he's just throwing D batteries and change and shit.
He's got D batteries, a blunt, a French fry, a couple quarters. He's just throwing shit.
Yeah,
no, that's wonderful.
Blows a bubble and it just floats over there and pops in their eye.
When real quick before we move on, when Julie having her death on like the security camera made it like so much more real and so much more like
it
whatever,
played
right?
really
I was
well.
Super into that. And like the painters and all that stuff, like you said, becomes like a thing. But it's the whole thing of like, did the landlord let you guys in? And just like dies or whatever. It's so like sudden, it happens so early in the episode too. I was not prepared. I was like, oh shit. I actually when it got weird and like you have barely a second to like even like think thoughts, but I thought like, oh, kidnapping perhaps. Oh, she's dead. It was this horrible like there's very, very sudden.
You knew though, like from the moment you saw them, like it's like something is good gonna happen.
Yeah, because of the thing, and you're like, oh, the angle, whatever. And we get like nice shots of Fisk being like, just like, there you go, and all that stuff. So now we're in the middle, I guess, right?
Yeah.
So they've set up a situation. Nadim is super onto Dex. He's going through shit, looking at like internal surveillance footage, figuring out, Dex is most likely the shady guy.
I don't know how Dex got away with what he did so far. Like turning off all the cameras. I'm like, okay, he's turning off the camera, and also it's just like, okay, you're not just turning off the monitors, you're actually turning off the cameras.
Yeah.
So I'm like, does there no one notice that? Those are recording somewhere. Does not someone at some point go like, okay, even if there wasn't a camera, which there was in the office that he didn't turn off before turning off the other cameras because he presumably didn't know about it or whatever. It's very strange because they'd be able to be like, okay, well, who worked with us that day? Okay, blah blah. John, what happened here? Oh, Dex sent me out for coffee. I don't know. Oh,
weird.
All right. Other day it happened. Oh no. Dex told me to go to the bathroom for a long time. What?
I don't hate it because the way that it plays out is that Nadim sees the logs and then goes to that part of the footage and figures it out and all that stuff. And I'm willing to believe that the resources of the people, that they don't have someone who just literally watches every minute of footage.
Probably not.
I'm like willing to like go with that, right?
I would not assume someone watched it, but I would assume there's something that says like, oh, that was turned off.
Something like red flagging or something like that. Yeah, exactly.
Because there'd probably be something to make sure like you don't have a hiccup and like like where this hard drive filled up or whatever.
Something like that. Yeah. No, like it's on the edge for me. I think I would have been more unhappy if it took us like a whole full episode for him to like piece it together and like realize that because like in like the first two cuts to like that thread of the story, Nadine's like, oh no, it's obviously Dex. Fuck. He's like, nope, not that guy.
You'd think he could even just recognize the voice.
That I was thinking about that too. I actually like I think he does play it, or maybe that's him playing it in his mind or whatever. But so like before we actually saw this episode, I thought he was gonna have to piece it all together, and he might put that on loop and then be looking at like files and like thinking and then flashing back to like, you've always had my back, man. Thanks a lot. Hi, Karen. Nice to see you. And be like, fuck, yeah, it's Dex and all, and like realize it that way or something. But I was picturing, so I would write that in my
episode. Picturing it was going to be a thing similar to that where he was like, he had watched that tape a lot, and when Dex came in to meet the lawyer, he was going to say the same word.
It's nice to see you again.
Yeah.
Oh, he could have walked in and said, it's nice to see you again, to Nadine or whatever, right? And then because he's like a fucking robot man, he just uses the same phrases over and over again.
That was something I was
that's so hack. That's beautiful.
Was going to happen, but it didn't work out that way.
We got to the chase relatively quickly. He's onto him, and they set up the plot that you just talked about, where, hey, man, we all pitched in. We got you this awesome internal affairs lawyer. She's gonna like knock this case out or whatever. So you sit with her here, and I'm gonna leave the room for a long time. And then like because it's it's a TV show, like in the real world, you would send a different agent to be waiting outside of his apartment already, and like not have to go all the way there or something like that. But because it's a TV show, it's Nadim that has to also go there and do the whole thing.
I wanted it to be something like Dex goes up to, like when she walks up, oh, I got a phone call, excuse me. Yeah. I wanted Dex to walk back out into the office and be like to any random person he used to work with, thanks a lot, man. It really means a lot to me that you guys chipping up, and go like,
what are you talking about?
Oh, I didn't, whatever. I was like, okay, and you could easily be like Nadim going like, you saved my life, I paid for it. I didn't want it to seem like a charity thing. I didn't want to seem like I paid for it.
And come back later and say that,
and it would have worked out too for me. But I wanted that to be like his trigger, where it's like, whoop.
Wait a minute,
yeah.
Because I forget, why does he rush back home?
He just does.
Because that's when he gets the text about Julie, but. Is he just upset? That's kind of weak, right?
I don't know.
I want there to be
I don't think there was a thing, and that either it's on the editing room floor, or there just wasn't one. Or they just took too long, because who knows how far away he lives. I don't know.
No, I had the same thought about the whole thing, because it seemed like they hadn't officially wrapped up, and you don't have to show that part, right? Whatever. But yeah, having the boss being like, "Oh, Dex, what are you doing here? It hasn't been 2 weeks. Like, what are you doing, or whatever?"
Yeah.
And he's like, I was talking to the lawyer, right?" And she's like, "Lawyer, what?" And then the lawyer is like leaving, and he's like, "Fuck," and then goes home or whatever. Yeah, but then he would have to know that it's Nadim in on it or whatever. And I'm not sure if he ever sees his face when he's shooting at them, right?
I think he has a vague idea, but I don't think he ever had confirmation. No.
I actually hit the back button at the one shot where he runs past the mirror, and I was like,
"Oh,
did
you
see
see
his
like
face?"
the side of his haircut,
exactly.
So like you could maybe get him like, okay, I know he has like olivey skin and black hair. How many people?
Probably that one fucking guy.
Yeah.
But we're getting to the good part now. He gets home, and I love him getting the shards of things from like the chandelier.
Yeah.
And he's like off camera, you see him do this to like pocket them kind of, and he's like holding one. He like flips it around and like gets his grip. Like I'm like, oh, this guy.
No, he's pretty
wonderful,
great.
And he goes into the apartment and everything. They've just left, and they're upstairs now.
This threw me at first. I wasn't sure.
It still throws me.
I was like, when did he get to the other side? And then I'm like, and then he's like, he's ricocheting the shots. I was like, okay, it was a little awkward.
I ended up watching it again to like jot down notes or whatever, and I didn't really watch it. I was like scrubbing through it, but I actually hit play for this part because I was like, this threw me a lot the first time. Let me watch it again now I know what's happening. Trust me, if you could watch it 100 times. There's like a shot missing that should explain the like spatial thing here. Because I'm not sure what he's seeing the reflection in exactly, or how he's.
It's in like a single window that doesn't seem to possibly show you enough.
No, it doesn't really make sense, and like you don't have a great sense of the space, so they have to patch in the dialogue. Wait, I think it's coming from downstairs, instead of just showing you that it's coming from downstairs, right? And of all the criticisms that I can level, I don't think that this was like quite pulled off correctly.
I think like after like the first couple of seconds or first couple of shots, it should have done like a wide pan and like done one of those like and like showing you the bullet like doing it.
You could follow the bullet, even just zoom out, like zooming out of the window, right? Have the camera come back, have a little chink next to it of it like hitting, and then go up, and then have the thing shatter up there, right? Just something to connect it for me, because I was really like, and like they say what's fucking happening, I know what's happening, but it didn't feel right,
awkward, yeah. And yeah, it was because of the space. But it's cool. I guess I like the idea of him being like that pro and can fucking bank bullets and this and that, but. And I don't know. It seemed like the cheapest way of his like very cool power.
They're kind of getting us from one point, from point A to point B on this one to a certain extent, right? Because there's no big fight scene. There's a little bit of like pursuit. We get this banking thing. It's mostly our hero continuing to learn about the abilities of our villain.
Yeah.
Right? He can't just go read the Wikipedia page.
I don't know why Dex never moved from his like window though. You think he'd be like bank shot, move up 6 feet, bank shot, keep going. All right, we're gonna keep banking things.
When he says he's only got 3 more bullets, I'll let you know when he reloads. I half expected Dex to like drop the clip and like pop in like a new one like
beforehand,
right then, and have Daredevil like shing, and then have him go like no, go now, stop, or something weird to happen or whatever. Because why else would you do the oldest like that's from like Lethal Weapon or something? I know I'm counting the bullets, like maneuver, but it turned out to just be it or whatever.
I'm counting the bullets on the gun that I'm not sure what type he's using.
He can hear what type of gun he's using. Okay,
he turned in his government issue gun.
Right.
So he has whatever gun he carries.
Is in this. Well, okay. I was just gonna say, whatever gun's in that fucking safe full of horrible things. So I guess he could have seen it in the safe, but that's still.
But you also why am I doing this? He could just have one in the back of his pants at all time. This could be anything.
He has multiple things. Who knows?
Yeah.
It's silly, right? If this was the best thing ever, I'd be like, this is lame or whatever. But this is like the weakest in like a sea of strong things, so I'm like not too worried about it. But yeah, overall, not a stellar scene. Yeah.
No, and
Nadim gets shot a little bit.
Yes,
that's the whole thing.
I didn't get a good sense of exactly if that was a nick or a straight in.
Yeah.
But either way, not awesome. And he's gonna have to lie to his wife again, and she hates that.
She, unlike most women, she hates being lied to about her husband almost dying repeatedly.
Yeah.
So. No, he they show him on the phone. My notes that I'm not even looking at say Nadim super lying to his wife. He's in the car like struggling against the pain of his even glancing gunshot wound, and then we see and he's like bandaging it himself and all that stuff. And I understand how movies work, but at a certain point you just have to go to the hospital and be like, I woke up like this. I don't know, help.
What did you think about him burning the tapes?
As a pretentious fuck, I love it. I
have mixed opinions on it.
But as a logical, cruel person, I question it because, narrative.
It's his only connection.
Narratively, we set up the fact that this is his pressure release valve, right? So him burning the tapes is symbolic of I don't need this anymore. I've moved on, right? And later he crumples into Fisk's loving arms, right? It's the transformation is complete. I'm leaving behind the old life, and now I'm just this killing machine that does whatever Fisk says. Fisk is my new therapist.
My thought was yes. It was okay, I don't ever want to calm down. I'm not going back to a normal life. I'm going to be a sadistic murderer. I've embraced the chaos. Let's just do this.
Right.
And I'm not sure if we're going to get that exactly, but I do predict a weird wild man, Joker-esque, I'm just smiling and killing kind of guy coming forward.
I hope they don't do too much of that because he is a sociopath. He shouldn't be. Whatever.
We're going to see.
He does like it. Okay, so Matt saves one tape, right?
Yes.
Part of me logically, just like on iZombie, they don't freeze tiny bits of brain, right? Why don't you save the best tape you have? Just in a pinch, you can use it to help accomplish your long-term goals. But he just and burns them all, or whatever.
I hate
right?
whenever someone burns things. I'm like, oh man.
Just ever?
Well, it's you could burn garbage or leaves. I don't care, but you're burning these possessions that are very precious to you, and it's in the heat of the moment. You're saying I don't want these things, but in a month, a year, 2 years, 10 years, whatever.
Yeah.
It might be nice to be able to listen to this person that really affected your life for a long time.
Oh, big time. But they're also a liability. I think he's partially burning them because
that's the reason for me is that he's burning them so other people can't learn things about him.
He was compromised. He was violated. His safe within his sanctum, within his orderly life that's been collapsing all around him has been penetrated, and now it's just all open. He has to get rid of it or whatever. Which again narratively I like. But yeah, I don't know why you wouldn't save one tape or just digitize the one tape, have some MP3s on your phone.
Put them on SoundCloud under your DJ name.
Of her just being you're a special boy, everyone loves you, Dex. Whatever. You don't have to include the part about killing and torturing animals because the tape that Matt has is all about him being I love doing things and then people don't know that it was me, and I love killing animals, and I killed it with a rock or whatever and all that stuff.
Yeah.
To just picture him as a kid whipping rocks and animals and murdering them and stuff and banking them and coming up with
that cow.
Creative ways to fucking murder animals, which is awesome. Matt's hitting the heavy bag, being I know what you're going to say, Mom. This sounds familiar, right? We're not so different or whatever the fuck.
Yeah. How'd you feel about that reveal of the
It's awful. I hate it so much. I literally collapsed into a sea of tears and vomit.
The sister is his mother,
Sister
and
Mama.
that's interesting to me. She does feel like a mother.
It explains why she's putting up with so much.
I never once ever thought who his mother was.
Yeah.
It's a little strange, though, because if she knew all along, why not ever tell him? Because you raised him as you should, because he's your child.
I know.
And not just one of God's children, your child, your actual flesh and blood. It's also weird that you knew who his dad was. You knew he was raising him alone and not very effectively. That you never played a part at all. I don't know.
So maybe we'll get some more information. I didn't put a lot of thought or study into it of how this all lines up now, but like I guess this explains why she's spending so much time with him, but I hate it. I hate it so much. I hate whenever anybody turns out to be anybody's evil twin
and
or
this
sibling.
This very sure could be from the comics. I don't know Daredevil's family life backstory. And I don't hate it.
It's
I don't know if it was addressed the exact way that I would have liked, because we've heard him. He's been hearing prayers his whole life. Has she never once prayed for him?
Not around him, I guess. Like that's what I mean. Like it's so like, all right, I guess, and like she doesn't tell him. He like overhears it. He's been there for this whole time. Like when he was a broken, battered, gonna die guy, there was, I guess his ears didn't work right. I don't know. It doesn't seem slick to me. It seems weird to me. It's at the end though. It's like the button. So there's a lot they can do to fill it in, maybe, and make it better. But at the moment, I just I don't know, right? This helps with the whole Catholicism, right, of Daredevil thing, which I don't know much about either. But my understanding from like a comic perspective is it's intrinsic to the character. It's like a tightly coupled trait that he has. But I don't know. It just seems lame to me. It seems goofy, and I don't like it.
Yeah, it could have been better.
I hope she won't end up tied up somewhere.
Oh, she's gonna. I think I may have said out loud. I was like, "Well, that's your death sentence." Like,
it's that's what I'm saying. Is I hate that. And then Fisk is gonna be like Martha. That's gonna be That's gonna be horrible. Like I don't like that plot line in things, right? And like it isn't like is it? I don't know. Like as I'm like exploring it in my head, I'm like, so Daredevil's whole thing, well, because she told him walk away from everyone and like your friends and all that stuff. And then with her super hearing son in the basement working out, she fucking says out loud that I'm your mom or whatever. It's so dumb.
Yeah.
Why would you do this?
I don't know.
Even if you think he's sitting in the bag and he's busy, he could be taking like a piss, and then he'll just hear.
He could be taking a superhero shit and just.
He was taking a super powered shit and just overhear this like life shattering news, right? He's on the verge of like, I'm gonna walk away from everyone in my life because obviously I hurt them if I'm near them. And his one sanctuary, the one refuge where someone's giving him a little dose of humanity is her, and she knows it would fuck it up if like he knew this or whatever, right? And then she fucking blabs it.
Or did she want him to hear it?
I assume she's gonna say, maybe I thought you'd hear me. And he's like, I hear everything, Ma. You fucking, this is my thing.
Because not only did he tell her directly, this is the thing I do. I thought they were praying for me. I could hear their prayers.
Yes. No, she okay, so like even if because they do a good job on the show, like unlike the old cartoons or comics, you don't see like power levels and like weird stats and stuff. So like people aren't even always sure how their own powers work exactly. I didn't know I could do that. Or oh well, yeah, I can lift this thing. Or oh, my mom is stronger than me, Jessica Jones. Whatever, right? Those little things come out. But yeah, she has to vaguely understand how it works. She knows his ears were clogged and he couldn't function properly, and now that his ears are open, he can like do backflips and like do stuff. I don't know.
No, it's.
I'm harping on it a lot. It's not the end of the world, but it's definitely.
It is the end of the episode.
It is the end of the episode, and so it leaves me now until we watch the next one to just be like, oh no, because I've been waiting for them to fuck something up, and this might be the thing.
Anything else happen in this episode?
Happen like plot wise?
Anything.
Nothing that I can remember.
I think that's the main gist of this episode, and ending on the button sunset.
So, Daredevil got the tape. He's listening with the nun. He killed animals. You're not so different, in quotes. Then all caps, the nun is his mother. What the fuck? And my last note for the whole episode is, he looks like a goofball. Because when he's acting, so between him being blind and him being shocked and like, oh no, mom, or whatever, and he's like collapsing and all that stuff, what? I just thought it looked so goofy, and it was so it further capped off because I was in the middle of screaming, what the fuck, and then I see him like like a fish. It's just not a good look.
Imagine how you'd react. All right, guys, so that's our thoughts on this episode of Daredevil. Let us know in the comments below what you thought about it. Don't die in a fire, and we'll see you next time.
Hello, internets. I just love watching JustDaggers. If you've enjoyed this video as much as I have, click that subscribe button. Peace out, homies.